Wendy Williams is a popular TV personality and celebrity, most well known for her hosting of the Wendy Williams show. Now, her show lasted for several years and she quickly became a household name. In recent years, there have been several health scares and a pretty public battle with substance abuse. They even did the last season of the Wendy Williams show without Wendy Williams. So people have been speculating for years as to what exactly is going on with her. Just this weekend, there was a Lifetime documentary that aired that basically left us with more questions than answers, including a surprise diagnosis. Today, I'll be discussing what is going on with Wendy Williams. Now, I'm going to be honest, I tend to shy away from the news overall, but this Wendy Williams story definitely piqued my interest, and that's because of the diagnosis. She was diagnosed with a pretty rare form of dementia called frontotemporal dementia. Now, this was interesting to me for two reasons. Number one, I don't tend to see these sort of diagnoses in the news every day. And number two, because she was diagnosed with the same exact rare form of dementia that Bruce Willis was recently diagnosed with as well. If you're new to this channel, I encourage you to check out that video because I actually covered his story already and I explain in detail both frontotemporal dementia and aphasia, which is one of the first symptoms of frontotemporal dementia. I'm not going to spend too much time explaining what frontotemporal dementia is because I've already done it and I encourage you to check out that video. But just briefly, it is a type of dementia that affects the frontal and temporal lobes in the brain. Now, these two lobes are largely responsible for things like executive functioning and language. Someone who has this diagnosis are going to start showing signs of impaired executive functioning, like poor judgment, poor inhibition, so they don't have like good self-control. Their interpersonal social skills may start to decline. So maybe they're less friendly, maybe they're less empathetic. They may show just overall inappropriate social behaviors. You'll also see something called aphasia, which is an impairment in how you understand and use language. Some people might also have difficulty with movement and might have symptoms similar to Parkinson's and Lou Gehrig's disease. So you might see issues with coordination, maybe they're rigid, maybe they're weak. Each person who has this diagnosis presents a little differently. And so today I'm going to be talking about some of Wendy's symptoms that I noticed in some of her last videos. It was kind of difficult to find a clear video of her last episode, so this was the best one that I could find. So this is her from her very last time hosting the Wendy Williams show.
Why'd she do this? He's probably cheating again. Or maybe he's not back from Jamaica. Or maybe he is, but hasn't been by the house to see the baby.
Exactly. There could be a number of things that Safari did wrong.
Erica, this is not time for you to be petty about this.
The first thing that I'm noticing is kind of the disruption in the flow of her speech. It's not so fluent. It's not so easy coming out. You can definitely tell that she's very choosy with what she's trying to say. I think that's intentional as someone who is a trained public speaker. Something that we notice is this long pause, and the audience, you can hear them kind of giggling because I think they think it's intentional, but it's long enough for you to recognize that it's not intentional. She's definitely having trouble probably thinking of the word that she wants to say. This is very characteristic of aphasia. There are different types of aphasia. One of them has to do with a difficulty in getting what you're thinking out into speech. Now, she could have forgotten what she wanted to say, or she just can't get it out. But either way, it's definitely a sign of difficulty. Let's look at another part of the episode.
Okay, but we said it's magnetic, right? So I've got these neodymium magnets, and did you see that?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, go for it. And then, so, oh, did you feel that? And so it'll pull it all the way up so we can defy gravity, or right now, and then hopefully in just a...
It's called, Thank you. It's called, it's elemental. The hidden chemistry in everything. It's available right now. Ask Wendy is next.
So as she's going through the different experiments and, learning new things from her guests, you can kind of tell that the guest is almost leading her versus Wendy being the lead of the show. There's several times when she kind of fumbles through what they're supposed to do. The guest is kind of navigating her through the experiments and saying, you stay there, you come here, okay, get over here. So this is definitely something that is not expected. It's not necessarily normal, and it's not typical of who Wendy Williams is as a person. So this definitely correlates to me with the dementia that she's diagnosed with. Just difficulties kind of organizing and problem solving and just interpersonal skills. You're already seeing that kind of decline in this video. Something else I noticed was that when she handed her the magnet and then they kind of like bumped, Wendy just dropped it. And just because we know now that she's having some trouble with movement, in the documentary you see her being wheeled around in a wheelchair, I would guess that at this time she was already having some issues with coordinating movement, maybe some weakness, maybe some rigidity. And you can kind of see that in the video as well, that she's kind of shuffling versus having a clear and, kind of strong walk. Now, I want to go to another video because it shows some of the other symptoms of dementia specifically that I think are important and worth noting.
You know what? Wendy Williams' show is over. Dema Mercury and I have decided it's over. I'm done. I could do anything I want to do or nothing at all. What I want to do is podcast, and I want to have a restaurant.
So, podcasting is so different from radio and TV, and those are spaces where you've interacted directly and iconically with a lot of your listeners, viewers, even guests. So why podcasting? I mean, what about the podcast is going to be so different from the Wendy Show or similar to it?
I can't wait to meet up with people like Donald Trump. If you're extremely famous like I am, it'll make more money than being on the Wendy Williams Show.
I don't know if it's just me, but several times in the interview, she was kind of just talking. Like, I don't know if she was actively responding to the interviewer's questions. I mean, they were close, but not exact. Now, this could be a sign of both aphasia and the type of dementia that she has. With aphasia, there can also be difficulty understanding what someone's asking you. So either she had difficulty understanding and comprehending the question, or there can be difficulty with saying what you mean. So you might see someone respond to a question with a similar answer, but not quite exactly what you're expecting them to say. With this dementia, what you'll see first is a decline in interpersonal skills. People are often diagnosed with some sort of psychiatric issue first before they get that final diagnosis.
Watch it, and I'm like, ugh. If I don't do anything else, including podcast, including restaurant, I would love to fall in love. I want to. A lot of girls at 57 don't care about. Excuse me, I'm gorgeous. Can I?
She is showing very poor judgment, definitely poor self-control, and not really judging what's appropriate to say, especially on a public platform. I think because she's so outspoken as a person and like historically she said kind of like whatever she wanted to say, many people didn't really fully get that there was something wrong. But here I feel it's pretty obvious that she is not okay, that there are definitely pathological things going on. That does it for this video. I hope you guys found it entertaining and more importantly, informational. Definitely check out some of my other videos where I talk more about the dementia and aphasia. If you're interested in communication disorders overall, I have plenty of videos explaining a variety of disorders. As always, thanks for checking out my video. Be sure to like and subscribe. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys are thinking. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video.